dynamite answer to why are you leaving your job at its core is always, I would only leave for this job.
Yeah. I like where I'm at. I'm happy. But this is just perfectly aligning. It's destiny.
I want to be here so bad, I'm going to quit a job I like. Welcome to Next Job Now.
The podcast where we help you get your next job
right now. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Greg Langstaff. I'm a certified resume strategist. I've written over 2,000 resumes, and I love helping people get new jobs.
And I'm Jeff, and I have a lot of questions about job searching, particularly questions about how to answer interview questions.
What interview questions are we going to talk about today, Jeff?
In this episode, we're going to do a little bit of a different structure. We're going to go and dive in at the end of this episode into 4 questions that you are almost guaranteed to be asked at least one of them in your upcoming interview.
I've been asked all of these in interviews before.
Okay, be prepared.
They're the hardest questions. We're specifically attacking the hardest questions.
Here are your 4 hardest questions that you will hear about in this episode. Tell me about yourself. Why are you leaving your last or current role?
Oof.
What is your biggest weakness?
I hate that one.
And what are your salary expectations?
That's a very expensive question if answered wrong.
Yeah, it could be costing the job offer.
Yeah, or just thousands and thousands of dollars of being underpaid every year.
Yeah, you could leave a lot on the table.
So before we dive in, if you are fans of this podcast, of our content, of job searching in general. No, I know you're not a fan of job searching. That's literally just me. If you'd like to support us, a simple like or on this video, if you're on YouTube, or subscribing to the podcast on whatever channel you're watching would mean so much. And also, if you are watching on YouTube, once again, Jeff did not get a haircut for this episode. So please reassure him that he looks fine because he's feeling very self-conscious.
The bald spot's in the back. So before we give the examples, we do want to provide a couple tips to help you through answering your questions. If you didn't listen to our last podcast episode, it was about structuring interview answers. So I recommend going back and listening to that if you want to learn more about the STAR method or the Carl or...
That episode, like from last week, will help you to answer 95% of job interview questions. This week's the hardest 5%.
Right. So how do we prepare then for these hard, tough questions? What are some quick tips to get ready without sounding rehearsed?
Honestly, if you don't want to sound rehearsed, you need to just practice them enough times that you can deliver it naturally. These are the questions you should have a word-for-word answer prepared for.
Yeah. My question is, when I sit in an interview, or if it's virtual, is it okay to have like STAR method kind of on my computer, or like sit down in my notebook and open it and there's like a little star?
Yes.
Just to remind me.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Little hints. What you don't want to be doing is like reading your answer. So, I mean, this is more of an issue for virtual interviews, but like nothing throws me off more than like someone answering a question and I see their eyes kind of moving around and they're clearly reading. Like, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I want to get to know you. I want to feel what it's going to feel like to actually work with you. So you got to be actually talking.
What about referring to your resume to jog your memory in the moment to be like, that's a good question. You're asking about like my greatest weakness?
Well, I hope that one's not in your resume. Don't put your greatest weakness in your resume, despite what Jeff will tell you.
Yeah, it goes skills, greatest weaknesses. Just lay it out there.
How did you get to the interview?
Transparency.
No, that's awesome though. Like, this is the reason that I always got the job offers when I was interviewing. And believe it or not, folks, I'm very good at job interviews. Just haven't had to do one in a while.
Yeah.
But I would bring my resume and I would make a little 1-page cheat sheet for myself that I would purposely have them see that I had, which had a list of all the skills that I thought we were going to talk about and a sample like prompt to tell me what the story I wanted to tell for that. And when they'd ask a question, I would very intentionally say, "Oh, great question. I thought that might come up. Let me see in my notes. Ah, yes. Here's the story I was going to tell." And then you're not scrambling to remember what you wanted to say, but you're also not reading a full script. And you know what they think when they see that? This person is extremely prepared. They're taking this so seriously. Look how they prepared. And on top of that, you will give a better answer.
Any other tips to like kind of ground yourself?
I try to just make sure I am delivering my answers like I'm kind of just having a conversation. So we don't want to talk like, well, the thing that I did in this role was this. And then I took these actions, and then I took these actions. Like, it's got to sound a little bit more natural. I like to picture that I'm explaining what I did to like a work friend, as opposed to like, so we're still, maybe we're at lunch. This is a work friend. It's not your buddies. But like, yeah, we want to just talk like, and then Susan wasn't able to process my expense report. So I had to go to Bill in accounting and have a conversation with him. Like, it's more like that than like that rigid bump, 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 like tone.
Yeah, I think sometimes we approach interviews trying to be like the best. Like we are, here's why I'm so amazing. And you should go in there with the confidence that you are amazing because you are amazing.
You are.
And like you said in a previous episode, be an 8 out of 10. Bring that energy.
8 out of 10 should be your energy level. Not you should be a 10 out of 10 person.
You are a 10 out of 10 person.
Because you listen to a podcast about job interviews. So you're going to be a few steps ahead of the competition.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's talk. What we're going to do in this episode is I'm going to interview Greg. Greg is going to have his notes. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go through those 4 hardest interview questions. Greg is going to answer the questions by reading some samples that we've prepared. Before he answers the question and gives you that sample, he's going to give a little context of like, what is it that question means? And
what are they actually asking?
Yeah, what's the subtext of that question? All right, the hardest question that you might get in this interview is, tell me about yourself.
This one usually comes up first. What they're actually asking is like a quick summary of your professional background, your key skills, career trajectory. It's just a way for them to kind of understand like your personal or professional identity and like how it connects with their role. So I'm going to read you a sample answer for tell me about yourself, and feel free to adapt this to your own experience. Can you ask the question again?
Yeah. Hi, Greg. Tell me about yourself.
Thanks for asking. I'm an experienced public relations specialist with a strong background in communications and multimedia production. I started my career working in post-secondary recruitment, and over the last 8 years, I've gained progressive responsibility in digital community engagement, advertising, and most recently, crisis communications. In my current role at the university, I support the president and vice president with all student-facing communications. I'm particularly drawn to this opportunity because I value your commitment to transparency to your stakeholders. I believe my experience in the post-secondary industry will translate seamlessly to delivering clear and accurate communications for your company. Now, this one's nice because, again, we've really started with that first sentence is like, who are you? Should be the same thing with like the headline at the top of your resume, the headline on your LinkedIn profile. We want to share for them, again, how many years experience do we have doing this? What are some of the key pieces of what we've done? And then get into like, how have some of your past experiences or your current experience set you up to do well in this role? And we want to make sure like by the second half of that answer, we're telling them why we are a good fit for them.
Nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So why are you leaving your past or current role?
This one's tricky. I don't think they should be asking it, but I understand why they do.
Yeah.
Because they want to know if, like, are you going to leave this role soon? Are you causing problems? Are you finding problems? So we're going to just be really kind of brief and surface level with this question, focus it back on them. So here's the sample. I've enjoyed my time at Small Time Beer, and I've learned a lot. Positive. I would only leave if the right situation came along, which is why I applied to this role. I'm excited about this opportunity at Big Hop's Brewery because I believe this role will allow me to experiment with new flavors, ingredients, and processes and to create unique beers on a bigger scale. This opportunity has come at a time when I'm ready to take the next step in my career. When I saw the posting, brewer at your company, I felt compelled to apply. The dynamite answer to why are you leaving your job at its core is always, I would only leave for this job.
Yeah. I like where I'm at. I'm happy. But this is just perfectly aligning. It's destiny.
I want to be here so bad, I'm going to quit a job I like.
Oh.
That's essentially it, right?
Yeah.
Like when you boil it down.
Mm-hmm. What's your biggest weakness?
This question can go straight to heck. Realistically, though, like they're not, most of them aren't trying to trick you. Although I've seen it happen. I've interviewed someone for a secretary role in like a student council situation. Actually, it was the first interview I ever did.
Yeah.
And I asked, as you would in the first interview you ever did, what is your biggest weakness? And she said, paying attention when other people are talking. I might have to ask you to go back and repeat things for me.
Oh.
And in 2007, we didn't have any other way to record what was happening in meetings except that person to write down what we said.
For the secretary.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That was the first job interview I ever was on the interviewer side for.
And how did they do in the job?
We went with someone else because they said their weakness was an absolutely essential part of the job.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're going to tell us then how do we answer it? Finding an adjacent problem?
Yeah, well, they're looking for self-awareness. Like what they want to know is you've found or seen like a weakness in yourself. You've worked on it. You've got better. But then a little bit, they're just trying to make sure you don't have any critical lack of skills.
Right.
So yeah, best topic to select for this is something that is just slightly related to the job, but not critical. You can't say skateboarding if you're trying to be a dentist. Like it can't be unrelated.
Yeah, but don't say proofreading if you are applying to an editor.
Yes.
Got it.
Exactly. And then also best case scenario, it's something you've been working on, and maybe it's a piece of a thing.
Okay.
I'm going to give you this example, but then I'm going to tell you what I usually say.
All right.
This question comes.
Do you want me to ask you the question again?
Yes.
What is your greatest weakness?
Listening to stupid interview questions. No. I saw a TikTok where someone said that.
Patience.
Yeah. In more colorful language. Okay.
Oh.
One area I'm working to improve is my public speaking. Notice we said I'm working to improve.
Yeah, it's not my biggest weakness.
No. In the past. This has been a challenge for me, particularly in scenarios where I've had to present in front of large audiences. However, I've taken steps to address this, such as enrolling in an improv class and taking a master class in the power of storytelling. You have to be working on this weakness if you're going to talk about it. As a result, I am more comfortable speaking in front of an audience, and I find myself seeking new opportunities to present as part of my role. Now, this isn't sounding so much like a weakness, which is where we dial it back in here with this last piece. While it is still a work in progress, I am committed to continuous improvement. Now, that's a great trait overall. I understand public speaking may not be a core part of this role. However, I believe that continuing to develop this skill will only enhance my ability to communicate the impact of future accomplishments as part of your team.
Wait, so what's your normal answer?
Oh, right. I always say, well, I haven't done it in years. The answer I use for what is your biggest weakness when asked to me is I am not great at giving critical feedback in a critical way. I'm very eager to reassure the people, my staff, that I'm giving the feedback to, that they're doing well. And I think that sometimes undercuts the feedback. So I've been working a lot with my boss on improving that skill and sort of letting the feedback sit while still allowing my staff to know that they're fine. This is a safe space. There's room to grow, but that area or that mistake they made did have an impact, and they can't just be feeling great about themselves when they find out about that mistake.
That's good. I feel like you need a new one now because you can't refer to a boss that you're working on it with.
No. I also don't have to tell anyone my weaknesses anymore.
That's
but you all know my weaknesses, especially the TikTok audience. Go to the comments. You'll see plenty of weaknesses that I have. Man,
they're not.
We don't talk about this, but that's the hardest part of this job.
Yeah.
Those TikTok comments. If you ever see any video of me on the internet, as there are thousands, go write something nice in there. Just to counterbalance it.
Be nice out there.
Especially to us. All right, Jeff, last question here.
What are your salary expectations?
Now, this question usually will come up in like a very early in the process. Could be a recruiter screening. They just want to know, can we afford you? That's it. Like if you get a 15-minute HR screening call, they're not going to waste an hour of the entire hiring panel's time if you're asking for $30,000 more than their budget.
Right.
They're not usually asking this question to try to undercut you or screw you over, despite what you may think. Based on my understanding of the market rate for this position, as well as my experience and qualifications, I'm seeking a salary in the range of blank 70,000 to blank 80,000. I am open to discussing this further, and I'm flexible depending on the overall compensation package and growth opportunities at your company. So we gave them like a range. You can usually find this if it's not posted on the job itself. You can usually find this on like glassdoor.com. They have like a nice salaries like meter thing you can check out for your specific job and your location. But the idea is like we're not committing to a specific number, but we're going to give them a range. Here's the super secret awesome answer.
Okay. Super secret?
Yeah.
I mean, it is available in your 101 interview questions ebook.
Right. This episode also is brought to you by the book that Jeff and I wrote together, 101 Job Interview Questions and How to Answer Them Perfectly.
So highly recommend downloading and purchasing the ebook. It's 101 interview questions. We've thought about every question that you could be asked.
Yeah, we have what is the true meaning of this question, things to include in your answer, a template answer, sample answers for every one of those questions. Now, Jeff.
What are your salary expectations, Greg?
I'm just looking for a package that aligns with industry standards. Is there a specific range you're aiming for so I can let you know if I'm comfortable with that?
Oh, push it back to them. Say, what's your budget?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you are feeling confident enough to answer that way, it can make you thousands of dollars a year. They may push back and ask you for a number, and then you're in this roundabout situation where no one wants to say the number first.
What do you do?
Well, in that case, I would fall back on the like having kind of a range in mind.
Yeah.
Kind of for what's standard. Like you should know some numbers going in. You can't just plan to only do the super secret no number answer.
I feel like if you try it once and it doesn't work, they win. You got to give a number.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just moving on to the next candidate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So have your ballpark.
Yeah. So currently I'm trying this with an influencer negotiation. where I just keep emailing them back and being like, well, I don't really know what I would charge for this because it's kind of a different thing you're asking for. What's your budget? And they keep emailing back and saying, well, it really depends on your rates. And I say, I wish I could tell you a rate, but I've never done this particular service before. They want to put like just a link in one of my popular videos on YouTube.
Okay, well, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Our next episode, we're going to start talking about layoffs and how to anticipate and predict if a layoff is coming and if you will be affected by it.
And what to do if you expect that's going to happen or if it does happen.
Yeah, we have a 3-episode series on layoffs coming up next.
Can't wait. I don't want you to need these episodes, but a lot of you do. So we're going to make them. Layoffs.